Literally everyone is always saying learn a skill while you're a teenager, but no one talks about how difficult it is to stay consistent when you see like zero results after a month. But the secret isn't more motivation, it is actually building a system that forces you to show up regardless. And here is the simplest way to do it. Hi, I'm Shemi, your internet friend, and that's leveling up. Welcome to episode 2 of Sticky Notes, my series where I give you the small, actionable advice on growing and blowing up in your teenagers. Last week, I talked about building a skill stack, but the only way to actually finish that stack is through consistency, and consistency requires a system. You know how in order for a car to move and reach its destination, it has different parts that are working together as part of a mechanism. That is your system, and in order to reach your goals, your skill system needs to have these three core things. Number one, a goal. What I mean by this is a passion project of some kind that you are using to practice your skills on. If you want to improve your writing skills, don't just write, okay? You need to have some kind of metrical goal, like, oh, I want to write so number of short stories by the end of the year, or I want to finish a complete novel by the end of the year, or a short film draft, whatever it is. Just make sure that you have some kind of goal in mind, so that way every time that you sit down, you're actually practicing with purpose. Secondly, a repeatable habit. You don't need to get too complicated, okay? Just pick one small habit that you're going to be doing to propel you towards your goals. For example, while I was taking graphic design classes in secondary school, I had graphic design scheduled every Friday in my Google calendar, so that way I didn't have to think about how I was going to apply what I learned. I just did it. It's really not about how much time you dedicate. It's about the compounding effect of practice and repetition. And like James Clear says in his book Atomic Habits, habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Now I'm able to design thumbnails, flyers, motion graphics, and so much more because of that tiny little habits that I started 4 years ago. And lastly, you need refinement. Okay, you need a way to measure your progress. As the editor of my school press club, I used to determine my growth by literally just asking people, like, oh, what did you think about my article? What do you think I should have done to improve it? Did you find it engaging? I would also send it to like my lesson teacher to read it and just give me professional advice on how to improve. So do not just follow your system blindly. You need to make sure that you are constantly auditing and adjusting it. Side note, make sure that you actually care about this skill that you're practicing. Because I kid you not when I say, if you despise it, if you are forcing yourself to do it, maybe your parents are forcing you to do it, you are always going to find a way to avoid it.
Okay, so I know you're probably thinking, Shemi, but how am I supposed to balance learning skills while also getting good grades? Because I'm a student, I don't have time for that. Well, just calm down, because that will be our next sticky note. But in the meantime, here is your assignment for today. I want you to comment a passion project that you want to start in order to practice your skill. And using the 3 steps that I just gave you, I want you to reply to other people's comments, giving them a system on how they can actually stay consistent with learning their skills. Let's help each other out as teenagers to grow this year. I mean, come on. So I'm thinking of creating another free resource, which is basically going to be like a list of passion project ideas for a very specific skill. So whichever skill appears the most in the comment section, I will create a free PDF guide on passion project ideas. So just let me know. See you next week.